This tutorial should get you started in setting up your keynote for our country portfolio for the first unit, which is our final exam. So what you'll do is click on Keynote, the blue icon, and you're going to create presentation. You can choose any of these presentations. It's up to you. You have a variety that you can choose from. Be as creative as you want. I'm going to just pick gradient, and what I'm going to do, just so we can see the directions, is I'm going to open up my country portfolio, which I have in Pages. If you completed it in Google Docs, it's going to be able to work the same way in terms of copying and pasting some of the things that we do shortly. But you'll notice in the directions, the first thing that you're going to do is label your keynote, and it's going to be last name, first name, and then Country Portfolio 2016. And the way you're going to do that is click on top where it says presentation, and then I'm going to type in my last name, comma, first name, and Country Portfolio 2016, and click done. I'll open up the directions again so you can see the second step. If we scroll back down, and then what we're asking you to do is create a title slide that you'll see includes at least one creative visual. This could be anything, and you'll see some ideas listed there: flag, map, picture of the currency of your developed and developing country, whatever you like. This is your freedom to do that. So I'm going to go back just so you can see the full screen, and I'm just going to label this very simply Country Portfolio. Oh, we'll spell it correctly. And I can resize, move this. This is all your options. I'm going to label in this secondary box here. We'll double tap, and my two countries for the sample were the United States, and I'm going to just hold my finger down on that. I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to paste, and I'm going to put my second country in, and that would be the Dominican Republic as our sample country. And you can do this again any way that you choose. And now I'm going to add two pictures. So I'm going to click on the little plus in the upper right hand corner. I'm going to go to all photos, and you'll notice on the bottom I've got a United States flag and a flag of the Dominican Republic that I Google searched and saved the image, and I can resize these flags, and I'm going to put them here, just in terms of a simple way of doing this. And there we have it. Those are my two countries. That's my title page, and it's as simple as that. If I want the font to be a little bit bigger, I can click on, again, the paintbrush up here, and you'll see if you click on text, I can change the font size. I can bold, italicize. I can do any number of things. By clicking on style, I can change the options there, so you can play with it and kind of test and see what is your preference. The next thing that I'm going to do is add a slide, and that's in the bottom left hand corner there. I'm going to click plus, and I'm just going to simply add a blank slide. We're going to do that so I can show you an example here of how we'd like to create a non-linear presentation for each one of our units. And the way that we're going to do that is I'm going to click the plus button, and I'm going to click on this little filled in blue square for shapes. And you can choose any shape that you like. These are going to be buttons that the user, when they're playing your keynote, can click on the button and it will take them to the specific pages within your keynote for that specific unit. So I'm just going to keep it simple, and I'm going to click this button. You can be any color you like, and I'm going to shape it the way I would like, and I'm going to double tap on it and just simply click on, or it'll call up the keyboard, and I'm going to label that button Unit 1. And by clicking on that, the user will be able to go to the Unit 1 section of our presentation. What I might want to do is also just label it Basic Geography. It's simply up to you how you'd like to do that. The plus indicates there's a little bit more in it. I can move it around and create that button in whatever form that you like. Then what I need to do is create the link within that button that's going to take the user to the specific area of your keynote, because as you move through these units, you're going to create more and more slides. So you want to be able to have the user go to that specific part, and this is going to get to be a pretty big portfolio by the time we reach the end of the first semester, and then at the end of our school year when you have all 6 units. So I'm going to tap on the button, and I'm going to click my wrench up top, and then I'm going to click on Presentation Tools, and then Interactive Links, and you'll see I have some options here. I'm going to link it to a slide. Now, it might be helpful to do this after you get done with your other slides and how you want them laid out, and I can simply link it. Right now I only have 2 slides, so I'm going to link this first unit to slide 2 because that's where it's going to take me for the beginning of my first unit presentations. And it's as simple as that. And what you'll notice is you've got a little blue arrow that shows in my working page that it's going to take it to page 2. So I click Done. Now if I click Play, when I click on this link, it's going to move me to that specific page that I want, so that the user can now see what's contained in Unit 1. And as I add buttons for Unit 2, 3, 4, and so forth, you'll be able to do that as well. So on the second screen, if this is where I'm going to start adding my information from Unit 1, I'm going to split the screen again, and I'm just going to call up our directions, and you'll see that we've got the hemispheres and just basic information, the land area, water area, just some things to help the user, the viewer of my keynote, understand a little bit more about the United States and about the Dominican Republic. And as we go, hopefully understand the differences between a developed country and a developing country, how they're different, how they're similar, as we move through our study of geography. So what I've got to do is I've got to put this information into my keynote. You can do that however you like. You can do it on 2 or 3 pages, or you can make each area a separate page. For example, if you wanted to put the basic information here, starting with the hemispheres that these countries are located in, show the regional map, That's up to you, however you'd like to do it. What I'm going to do is make this page a page for basic information. So I'm going to open this back up again, and we will add a text box. And in that text box, I'm going to call this side the United States, and I'm going to double tap and copy it. Single tap, I'm sorry, and copy it, and then paste. And we'll call this Dominican Republic. And the first thing I'm going to do on this page is I'm going to add just the basic information. And I'm going to tell the viewer a few things in terms of what hemispheres it's located in. Maybe I'll take the regional map. If I go over here, I can double tap. And as I do that, you'll see that in my table, the cell gets highlighted first and then the map. You want to make sure that you have the map highlighted within the cell so that when you copy it, you can now go back to your Keynote and click paste, and my regional map will appear, and I can move that anywhere I like. Another option that you could do if you like is to go to your table that's in either your Google Doc or Pages, and you can highlight those areas, drag, and then copy a portion of that table, and go to your Keynote and then paste your table into the Keynote. Let's try that again. And you'll get a copy of your table, and you can manipulate it. You can highlight the cells in here. If you go to the paintbrush and format the cell, you have some options for fill color. You can make them all white. You can see it's obviously easier to read. You can go back to the cell. You can change in terms of text options. If you want to make the text bigger, you can see how that is there. I can go back, I can go back to the paintbrush if I highlight all the cells again, drag. You can center the information. You can do a number of things that you can play around with and format in whichever way that you like. And then if I click on that, I can move this table and put it anywhere that I like. Going back to your Keynote, the other thing that you can do if you choose to do it this way, I've shown putting just this beginning basic information side by side, country by country. What you could also do is just make this a page for the United States. So within my Keynote, I'm going to just give the information, the basic information here on the United States. And I can format that any way that I like. If I open this up again, maybe I include all my maps. There's a regional map, and I'm going to include the country map. If you chose to go this option, then you could add another slide. If I was, for example, going to put, you see over here, just this basic information from the first page that I have up here, or the first few cells, about the country-specific map, the capital, centered. So maybe I put that all on my first page for the United States. Then I'm going to add a page, and this would also be the United States. So I could go back here, I could copy the heading, I could drop that heading on this page and it would just flow from the second page to the third page. And now maybe I get into some of this information in terms of my thematic maps. You could, again, make each page separate for each of the 5 thematic maps showing these things. You could include the physical features, climate, vegetation, and physical geography on one page, then add another in Keynote to make that your human geography page. It's really up to you how you want to do that. So for example, if I wanted to do this, I would double tap again. I'm going to enlarge it just so we can see this. So I'll double tap. You'll notice that I chose for physical features a picture of the Mississippi River and the Rocky Mountains. So I can double tap on the Rockies. You'll see how the picture highlights. I copy it. I go to my page and I'm going to paste. And you'll see the picture comes up. And what I want to make sure that I do is label that. We don't want to see any pictures just put in as a collage. The whole key to this is understanding a little bit more about your country's basic features. So if I want to label this, I can add, go to the plus button. I can add text. And I'll just make this a little bit bigger so we can see it. And I'm going to write, this is the Mississippi River in Lansing, Iowa, looking into Wisconsin. And I'm just going to zoom out here so we can see it. And I can shrink this. I can take this again. If I click on my text box and I can move this around, I can label it. I can highlight all of this. I can click on the text box. If I go up here to my paintbrush, you can see that text is highlighted. That would be the different styles. But again, with the text, I can go to the size and I can make this smaller, larger. I can manipulate the pictures again and really, again, do this in any way that I like that's appealing to me. And then I might add my Rocky Mountains in there. If I wanted to do all the physical features together, you can see that I might add climate. My 2 climate pictures that I chose for Chicago that you can see there, and Miami. And maybe I add my my vegetation, desert scrub in the Mojave, and this coniferous forest that I have pictured. If you wanted to put that on one slide, you could make each a different slide. It's really up to you how you choose to do that. What I will show you though is what we also need to do. If you go back to the idea that we had where we're going to put in these buttons to make this non-linear or be able to jump around our keynote as it's being presented so that you can go to each unit, we also need a way to get back to that home page. So what I'm going to do to make it easy is I'm going to go through the same process again. I'm going to add, in this case, let's say I want to do something different, so I'm going to add a circle. And I'm going to put that maybe in the bottom right hand corner. You can be anywhere really. And then within this shape that I've added, I'm going to make this active. So let's say I type in homepage or whatever you think is the best way to indicate that the user or viewer is going to return to the home page so that he can then or she can then look through the remainder of the units. So once I do that, if you remember the process, we're going to Click on that shape again. I'm going to go up to the wrench. I'm going to go to Presentation Tools, Interactive Links, Link to Slide, and then this one, because I want to return to my home page, I'm going to link it to slide 1. I'm going to click Done, and then just as a sample, if you see what we do, now we're playing. Let's start with the first page. We'll play from there. I see that it's my country portfolio on the US and Dominican Republic. Looks good. I click the button there for basic geography. I read my information. I go to the next page, and let's say this is the final one on the United States, and I want to return to the home page. I click that button and I'm back. So it's really an easy way to sort out and make this keynote come alive and make it much more interactive for the viewer. I hope this has helped and it's gotten you some ideas to start working on your keynote. This first unit is really up to you. You have a lot of opportunity to be creative. We do want to make sure that for this first one, if we go back to my pages here, you might have a Google Doc that all of this information, all of these pictures and all of this information for all the 5 thematic maps, and then just these simple basic geography facts that you see from hemispheres down to a comparison of the size of your countries compared to states or territories within the United States. We want all of those things in this first unit of the keynote. So you want to make sure that whichever way you do this, you sort it out so that it's organized to your liking and that you do present all of this information. We'll be adding some things and teaching you a little bit more about Keynote and some other things you can do as we go into our second, third, all the way through our 6th units. Hope it helps. Thanks.